I never imagined that my life could change so drastically overnight. The day started like any other, with the sun streaming through my bedroom window and the sound of birds chirping outside. I had been up late the night before, cramming for an important exam, and I groggily hit the snooze button on my alarm clock for the third time. Little did I know that this would be the last morning I woke up in my own bed for a while. My name is Alex, and I'm a high school junior. School has never been easy for me, and this year was no exception. Despite my best efforts, my grades were slipping, and I knew I was in trouble. My mom, Karen, had always been strict about academics. She believed that good grades were the key to a successful future, and she wasn't shy about expressing her disappointment when I didn't meet her expectations. As I trudged downstairs for breakfast, I could sense the tension in the air. My mom was sitting at the kitchen table, her face buried in my latest report card. She looked up as I entered the room, her expression a mix of anger and frustration. "Alex, we need to talk," she said, her voice cold and firm. I nodded, my heart sinking. I knew what was coming. My grades had been steadily declining, and this report card was the worst yet. I had failed 2 classes and barely passed the others. I had tried to study, but it seemed like no matter how hard I worked, I just couldn't keep up. "Your grades are unacceptable," my mom continued. "I've given you chance after chance to improve, but you're not taking this seriously. You need to understand that your future is at stake." "I'm sorry, Mom," I mumbled, staring at the floor. "I'm trying my best." "Trying isn't good enough," she snapped. "You need to take responsibility for your education. If you can't show me that you're willing to put in the effort, then you can't stay here." I looked up in shock. "What do you mean?" "You need to prove to me that you can handle your responsibilities," she said. "Until you do, you're not welcome in this house." My mind reeled. Was she really kicking me out? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I had nowhere else to go. "Mom, please," I begged. "I promise I'll do better. Just give me another chance." But she was resolute. "I've given you enough chances. It's time for you to learn the consequences of your actions. Pack your things and leave." Tears stung my eyes as I ran back to my room. I couldn't believe this was happening. I threw some clothes into a backpack, grabbed my school books, and left the house without looking back. I felt a mixture of anger, shame, and fear as I walked aimlessly through the neighborhood. Where would I go? What would I do? I ended up at my friend Jake's house. Jake and I had been friends since elementary school, and I hoped he would let me stay with him for a while. When I explained my situation, he looked at me with sympathy. "That's rough, man," he said. "You can crash here for a few days, but my parents are pretty strict too. They might not be okay with you staying long term." "Thanks, Jake," I said, grateful for his help. "I just need some time to figure things out." For the next few days, I stayed with Jake, trying to keep up with my schoolwork and make a plan. I knew I needed to improve my grades if I ever wanted to go back home, but studying was difficult with the constant stress and uncertainty hanging over me. I missed my mom, despite everything, and I wanted to prove to her that I could do better. One evening, as I was struggling with my homework, Jake's mom, Mrs. Thompson, knocked on the door and came in. She was a kind woman, always offering snacks and words of encouragement when Jake and I studied together. "Alex," she said gently, "I heard about what happened with your mom. I'm sorry you're going through this. Have you thought about getting some extra help with your schoolwork?" I sighed. "I don't know. I've tried studying on my own, but it's just not working." She nodded thoughtfully. "Sometimes a little extra support can make a big difference. Have you considered getting a tutor?" The idea had crossed my mind, but I hadn't taken it seriously. Tutors were expensive, and I didn't want to burden Jake's family any more than I already had. "I don't know if I can afford it," I admitted. Mrs. Thompson smiled kindly. "There are free tutoring programs at the community center. I think it might be worth checking out. Education is important, and it's clear you're willing to work hard." You just need the right support." Her words gave me a glimmer of hope. Maybe a tutor was what I needed. The next day, I went to the community center and signed up for their tutoring program. I was paired with a college student named Emma, who specialized in math and science, the subjects I was struggling with the most. Emma was patient and understanding. She didn't just explain the concepts. She helped me develop better study habits and showed me how to break down complex problems into manageable steps. Slowly but surely, my grades began to improve. Over the next few weeks, I focused all my energy on my studies. It wasn't easy, and there were times when I felt like giving up, but the thought of proving myself to my mom kept me going. I stayed with Jake for as long as I could, but eventually, I had to find another place to stay. I ended up sleeping on friends' couches and even spent a few nights in the school library. Despite the challenges, my determination never wavered. I was determined to show my mom that I could turn things around. And finally, after months of hard work, I received my report card. My grades had improved significantly, and I had passed all my classes with flying colors. With a mix of excitement and nervousness, I went back to my mom's house. I knocked on the door, clutching my report card in my hand. When she opened the door, her expression was unreadable. "Hi, Mom," I said, my voice trembling. I wanted to show you something." She took the report card from me and looked it over. I held my breath, waiting for her reaction. After what felt like an eternity, she looked up at me with tears in her eyes. "Alex," she said softly, "I'm so proud of you. I know this wasn't easy, but you've shown me that you're capable of great things." I felt a wave of relief and happiness wash over me. "Thanks, Mom. I'm sorry for everything. I just needed to find a way to make it work." She hugged me tightly, and for the first time in months, I felt like everything was going to be okay. "Welcome home," she whispered. From that day on, my mom and I worked together to make sure I stayed on track with my studies. She helped me create a study schedule, and we found ways to balance my schoolwork with other activities. Our relationship grew stronger, and I learned the importance of hard work and perseverance. In the end, being kicked out of the house had been a harsh lesson, but it was one that changed my life for the better. I had learned to take responsibility for my actions and discovered the value of education. And most importantly, I had proven to myself and my mom that I could overcome any challenge that came my way. The experience had also taught me about the importance of support and community. Without the help of my friends, their families, and the resources at the community center, I might never have been able to turn things around. I realized that asking for help was not a sign of weakness, but a step towards growth and success. As I approached my senior year of high school, I continued to work hard and maintain my grades. My mom and I developed a new level of trust and understanding. She became more involved in my education, attending parent-teacher meetings and helping me plan for college. We had many conversations about my future, and she encouraged me to pursue my passions and dreams. Graduation day was a moment of triumph. As I walked across the stage to receive my diploma, I saw my mom in the audience, beaming with pride. I knew that I couldn't have reached this milestone without her tough love and unwavering support. When it came time to apply for colleges, I aimed high. I was accepted into several universities, and I decided to attend a school that offered a strong program in computer science, a field I had grown passionate about during my studies. My mom helped me pack and drove me to campus on move-in day. As we said our goodbyes, she hugged me tightly. "I'm so proud of you, Alex," she said, tears in her eyes. "You've worked so hard, and I know you're going to do amazing things." "Thanks, Mom," I replied, my voice choked with emotion. "I couldn't have done it without you." College was a new adventure, filled with challenges and opportunities. I threw myself into my studies, determined to succeed. The lessons I had learned from my experience in high school stayed with me, driving me to work hard and seek out support when I needed it. I joined study groups, attended tutoring sessions, and built a network of friends and mentors who helped me along the way. My mom and I stayed in close contact, talking on the phone regularly and visiting each other during holidays and breaks. Our relationship had grown stronger than ever, and I was grateful for her guidance and support. As I neared the end of my college journey, I started applying for internships and job opportunities. I was thrilled when I received an offer from a prestigious tech company. The experience I gained during my internship helped me secure a full-time position after graduation. On the day of my college graduation, my mom was there, just as she had been for my high school graduation. As I walked across the stage to receive my diploma, I felt a sense of accomplishment and gratitude. I knew that my journey had been shaped by the challenges I had faced and the support I had received along the way. After the ceremony, my mom and I celebrated together. We talked about the future and the exciting opportunities that lay ahead. As we reminisced about the past, we both acknowledged how far we had come and how much we had grown. In the years that followed, I built a successful career in the tech industry. I continued to challenge myself, seeking out new opportunities for growth and learning. My mom remained a constant source of support and encouragement, always cheering me on from the sidelines. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that being kicked out of the house had been a turning point in my life. It had taught me resilience, responsibility, and the importance of hard work. It had also shown me the power of community and the value of asking for help. Through it all, my mom had been my biggest supporter, pushing me to be the best version of myself. I was grateful for her tough love and for the lessons it had taught me. Our relationship had been tested and strengthened, and it had become a foundation of love and trust that would carry us through whatever challenges the future held. And so, as I looked back on my journey, I knew that I had become the person I was meant to be, shaped by the trials and triumphs I had experienced. I was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that I had the strength, determination, and support to overcome any obstacle.